welcome to this video. In this one, I'm just going to describe and explain to you what a value bet is in very plain, simple layman's terms. We're going to be talking about really how bookmakers make money and how you can make money out of bookmakers too. Now, the aspect of value betting I'm going to show you today is not the main one I use. However, it will give you an idea of really how it is that money is made via betting on sports betting sites, because at the end of the day, you do get the opportunity to be betting at value. Okay, in other words, betting when you've got an advantage. So I'm going to get the horse up just quickly. You can see Jasmine Bliss on Betfair Exchange. I just want you to note this for now. I'm going to explain why, but just note at this current point, the lay price is 4.7. Now, if I go to that exact same race, that's the 350 at Ludlow today, you can see Jasmine Bliss is 5. So if there's a 4.7 lay option, okay, with a bit of a gap from 4.5, okay, 4.6 now, and the win is 5, clearly there is a discrepancy. Okay, now why is this a value bet? Well, I'll show you now. I'm just going to load up a calculator, okay, just to make this easy. So the lay price for the win, in other words, what people are betting that it won't win at, is 4.6, and the win price is 5 on 888 Sport. 888 Sport haven't changed the odds quick enough, and that's why this is the case. So if I take the win price and I divide it by 4.6, which is the lay price, I get the number 1.0869. Now that represents about 8.7% as a profit margin for you if you were to take that bet. That is because the win price is 8.7% higher than the Betfair price. Now it's 4.5, which gives you an even larger margin again. Okay, so you could bet whatever you wanted on it. For example, I could just bet £10 now, and it's on. So I've just gained now what is a larger percent margin on that bet, and I'll describe why that is the case. Now remember, this isn't the exact method I use an each way pricing loophole instead, but I'm just getting your head around how this works. You can see now the margin is 1.1, okay, or 11.1%. Roughly 11% is the difference between the win price here and the lay price at 4.5. So if you bet £1,000 on this horse, okay, you would expect to make 11% or £110. Now, that's not to say that you bet £1,000 all at once, because you could lose. But let's say you bet £10 100 times in the same situation. You would expect to be up 11% or so. Now, why is that the case? Well, that is the case, okay, and you can see now the margin is even larger. Look, you've got 4.4%. If you did it like this, you've now got 13.6% margin. So £1,000 of bets is going to net you 136 or so, or however much. But the reason why we're going off Betfair is because what Betfair does is really interesting. Okay, it rules the betting market, and it makes what I call the status quo, if you like. Now, that I'm saying is because if you look at all the other horses in the market, for example, Met Caina at 4.3 win odds, okay, you can see the lay odds are 5.7, which is considerably higher than those win odds. If you look at Gina Dudery, okay, 8.2 lay there, and if you go to those win odds for that horse, they're 7. Okay, again, much higher on the exchange. Armathia at 8.8 lay, and the back price is 7. So again, far beyond 20% of a margin. Now, just going back to why we use the exchange as the basis for finding value, it's because the bookmakers do the same thing to gamblers. They take the exchange price and then they pay you much less. That is how they make money. So therefore, we can concur that since the bookmakers are going off the exchange price, then the exchange price must be the real price of the horse. It must be the real chance of the horse winning. And that's absolutely correct. And the reason why that is correct and so paramount to the process is because we're looking at people betting against each other. Okay, people all around the UK or wherever you can use Betfair are placing wagers against each other. And what that does is it finds an equilibrium at every single point where there is a match between two sides. In other words, what someone is happy to bet at and what someone is happy to lay at. And that process, that number, forms the real odds or the real price for that horse. So any occasion where the odds are much higher, i.e. 11% for Jasmine Bliss, okay, jockey Paul O'Brien, trainer Harry Durham, 5.0 to win or 4 to 1, and you can see that this lay is considerably less, and it's the only horse in the race where that's the case. All the other horses have a lower win price than the lay, because the bookies know if they give you a lower win price than the real price on Betfair, they will always beat you. So therefore, if you're betting when the odds are in your favour, you will always win. Now, the problem with placing those win bets only is that it's far more likely that you can get restricted and banned because it's easy to read through the lines. However, if you're placing bets each way with my new strategy in a slow progressive format, you will find that that isn't the case, because it's very difficult for the bookmaker to even notice, because the win odds you're taking are not going to be, or very rarely are going to be, better than the exchange price. It's the place price that gives you the benefit, and therefore it's very hard for them to stop that, especially if you're doing it in a slow progressive way. In other words, you're coming on board and they just think you're someone who's getting more and more interested in gambling. Okay? So it's much better to do it with the plays part. However, if you are restricted, of course you can then extend your profits by betting on the win price, because you've still got value there. And some bookmakers may say, okay, well, we don't want you to bet each way, but you can bet on the win. Okay, then you can start racking up those profits with your win price betting, which is even better than just dumping the account. Some people do. They stop betting on the account when it's restricted, but they can still make money and extend those gains even after they've made loads of money in other advantage play formats. So simply put, a value bet, or how to gain value, it is done by taking a price that is leveraged in any way, whether it's the place or the win, and it has to be more than it is on the exchange, on the place market or the win market. If you're doing those things, it's impossible to lose over time mathematically. It becomes an impossible scenario because you're always betting above the book. You're always betting at a margin where you make money. And since the bookies are going off Betfair, because that's where everyone is placing wagers and that's how they get the price, then it allows you to profit. Now, it's good to mention as well this. Since everyone is betting against each other, that is the only thing that gives the mathematical edge, okay? That's what makes up a book. In other words, all the horses in a race and their chance added together, or an overround. It's built off numbers. It's a common misconception and misunderstanding that bookmakers know who is going to win, okay? And the expression, oh, the bookies have had a bad day, basically doesn't exist, because they don't care if they have a bad day. They're worried about the year or the week or the month, because it's not about the bets on the day. Like I said, if you bet £1,000 all at once on Jasmine Bliss, you could lose. If you bet £100, 100 times with £10, it's far less likely that's going to occur, because you naturally stretch out your variance more, and you would have to lose 100 times in a row to lose all your money. So just remember that the bookmakers don't know who's going to win. They have absolutely no idea whether it's going to be a high odds horse like Jacana or it's going to be a low odds horse like Jasmine Bliss. They don't know, they don't care, and you shouldn't too. The only thing you should look for is value. That's what works. So I hope that helps. Don't forget to get my free training underneath my email betting loophole list. I've made 6 figures out of betting myself, and I teach people all over the place to do the same. So it's a great place to be. Don't forget to like,